Hello everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate this Beko Bagless mains powered cylinder vacuum cleaner. I'm not going to unbox it in this video because I have unboxed it in one of my rare live videos. If you want to check back on my live videos, you'll see me unbox it there. But because I've unboxed it, I'm not going to unbox it. Here's the box. The next thing you see will be the vacuum cleaner and all the tools that it comes with laid out in front of you. If at the end of the video you want to buy one, I'll put a link below. It's still available from amazon.co.uk. Okay, without any further ado, I'll get everything out of the box and we'll have a closer look at this Beko vacuum. Now, considering this vacuum cleaner is at the lower end of the market, and by lower end I mean under £100. In fact, you can buy this Beko occasionally for around £80 when it's on offer. I think that offers pretty good value for money considering all the tools you get. So I'll run through the tools first and then I'll show you the vacuum cleaner and then we'll see it in action. So I'll just pick up the first thing I come across, and it's this. A dedicated hard floor nozzle, just for hard floors, not for carpets. You see it's got soft brushes and a couple of wheels. This is ideal for, say, your wooden flooring or more delicate flooring. If you've got exposed floorboards, this might be the nozzle you'd want to use on those rather than the standard carpet and floor head. So that's your dedicated hard floor nozzle. Not many cylinder vacuum cleaners have a dedicated hard floor nozzle, especially not at the lower end of the market. Then you have your regular carpet and floor nozzle. So this is for your carpeting. You can see it's got a smooth plastic base. There's litter pickers to help pick up pet hair, etc. A couple of little roller wheels at the front and two large wheels at the back. This nozzle has a foot operated pedal, so it brushes up for carpets. Press on the pedal here and you've got brushes down for cleaning hard floors, and also at the back a little squeegee pops down. That's to help to seal the suction when you're cleaning hard floors and to stop any dirt from flicking behind the nozzle. It's got a flexible neck, got little plastic bellows here, and you can see that the neck moves up and down and swivels from side to side. The final large floor head you get with this cleaner is the turbo brush, and this is adjustable to suit different heights of carpet. So if you've got plush or long pile carpet, you'll want it in this setting, or for short pile carpeting you can close the valve and the brush will operate very successfully on short pile. Now when you open the valve, it means that the air can flow through the machine, because some turbo nozzles can slow down when you're using them on denser pile carpet. So by having a setting, it should allow the brushes to continue to rotate even if the carpet's quite thick. And you'll see underneath there's the rotating brush. There's no way of accessing inside here without a screwdriver. This actually works on the air produced by the vacuum cleaner. It's not got its own motor, it's an air-powered turbo nozzle. The next nozzle here is the Crevice tool, quite short but not as short as some nozzles I've looked at, sort of a medium-sized Crevice tool for all your nooks and crannies. Then you've got an upholstery nozzle with litter pickers either side, so that's for your upholstered furniture, curtains. You can use that on your stair carpet as well. And finally, we've got a dusting brush for dusting shelving, light fittings, that sort of thing. It does have a flexible neck, so you can angle it depending on what you're cleaning. Then we have a metal telescopic extension wand, and you'll notice that there's a bracket on it, so you can actually store two of the cleaning tools. So one of the tools gets left behind, I'm afraid. So whichever two tools you use the most, you can store them on board so they're ready for instant use. And being telescopic, of course, you can adjust it with this little slide control and pull out to suit your height, or if you're cleaning up high, obviously you want it fully extended, or if you want a little bit more maneuverability in a tighter space, you can have the tube condensed like that. Of course, when you're storing it away, just condense it down. And finally, we have a flexible hose Feels quite strong. It swivels at the cleaner end, and it should swivel at the handle end as well. Yes, it does. And you've also got a little suction relief valve here, so you can reduce the suction for cleaning lightweight fabrics such as curtains. Well, here's the cleaner itself, and I must say it looks very smart in this rather fetching metallic red colour, and all these chrome highlights make it look far more expensive than it actually is. Obviously, the chrome parts on this vacuum cleaner are chrome coloured plastic. It's not real chrome. It's not what I'd call a compact machine. It's got a bit of weight to it. It's not the heaviest cleaner I've picked up. It's certainly not the lightest either though, but it's what I would say it's a full-size machine for your main vacuuming. You can use this in conjunction if you've got a cordless stick cleaner for your day-to-day use. Many people also want a mains powered cleaner to complement that, and this is what I'd say, this can be used as your only vacuum if you've only got space or the money for one vacuum cleaner. This could be everything you need. Anyway, it's supposed to be a multi-cyclone system according to the blurb on the bin, which looks a pretty large capacity. Now, to empty the machine, there's a button here which we need to press. This little handle part comes up, and then you can remove the bin for emptying. And to empty the bin, we've got a little lever here which you squeeze and the dirt falls out. So yes, it is bigger, especially compared to a lot of the cordless machines I've been looking at lately. That's quite a large capacity. There is a max fill line there, but you can see it's quite wide at the base. So that should hold a lot of dirt before you need to empty it. There is a filter in the lid which is washable. You just have to press on the button here and out comes the filter. You can dismantle this if you want to clean it a bit more thoroughly. The inner part comes out and you can give that a clean, and you can wipe the bin out if you want to. Make sure it goes in correctly. It does line up a certain way. And there goes the filter. There is another pre-motor filter, a coarse sponge, which shouldn't get dirty, but if it does, you can also remove that and give that a clean. Of course, make sure it's dry before you put it back into the machine. So that's the Bagless unit. It says Beko Airgate on it. I don't know what that means, but anyway, so that locks into place. We've got your mains on-off button here, and on the other side you've got your foot-operated automatic cord rewind pedal. So I'm not sure if there's anything else to show you on the machine itself. On the underside we've got swivel caster and two fairly large wheels, and this I believe is an 800 watt motor. Yes, it is 800 watts. There is an exhaust filter here on the back of the machine, which is, I believe, a Hepa type filter, like so. And there's another diffuser behind that, but that's fixed in place, you can't clean that. So that clips in. There's also another thin sponge filter as well. So that should just click into place. There we go. Pop the cover back on. Which way does it go? That way. Now this has an operating reach of 11 meters, so that will include the hose and the wand. So it's probably about a 9 meter cable, which again is a nice length. You'll notice when you pull the cable out that there are two stickers, a yellow sticker and a red sticker. You're not supposed to pull the cable out beyond the red. So if you see the red, just press the rewind button. I'll pop it in a bit more as well into the yellow, like that. Okay, we'll plug it in. See how quiet this Beko is. Now it might switch on. Nope. Okay, here goes. Wow, I'd forgotten. It's such a long time since I first unboxed this. I've forgotten how quiet it is. I mean, the most noise you hear, especially when I had the hose off, was the airflow. The motor is very well insulated. Very, very quiet. As I was blocking the end of the hose, you may have noticed this little light illuminate. So that indicates whether you have a blockage or the bin's full, or perhaps you need to wash the filters. Before I try this Beko out on my carpet, I thought I'd just check the suction power at the end of the hose. Now this is a vacuum suction gauge. I use this in a few videos just to judge the suction of the vacuum at the hose end. It doesn't actually determine how well a vacuum cleaner will perform, but it just gives you a rough idea of the suction you've got to work with. So for a low wattage machine like this with the EU guidelines, so this is 800 watts, it's under the 900 watt maximum allowable, you'd expect around 60 to 80 on the gauge to be quite a good result for a low wattage machine. So let's see what result we get from this Beko. Well, I'm pretty surprised by that result from this Beko vacuum cleaner. Almost 100 on the gauge. To be accurate, it was around 98. But that, of course, is with clean filters and an empty bin. The suction may reduce as the bin fills and, of course, as the filters become clogged. But for an 800 watt machine, nearly 100 on the gauge is pretty good. Before I put some dirt down, I'm going to see how easy the cleaner head is to push on my plush pile carpet. I'm going to try it first with the regular carpet and floor nozzle, and then I'll switch over to the turbo nozzle, which should be, in theory, a bit easier to push. Okay, starting with the straight suction nozzle. That's very hard. Wow. So the only way of reducing the suction on this Beko, because it's got no electronic control, is to open the suction valve on the handle. Which makes it far easier to push, but of course it reduces the suction at the nozzle, so we might not get such good pickup. But yeah, that is what I expected from a low wattage machine. They often stick fast to the carpet and are very hard to push. That is the main complaint that I read on various reviews of the cleaners being very hard to push, uprights and cylinders. But because we have a turbo head with this Beko, let's see what this is like. And because I've got a plush pile, I'm going to use it on the longer pile setting. Well, the turbo nozzle is certainly a lot easier to push than the standard nozzle supplied with this Beko, and even when I flicked it over to the short pile setting, it was still relatively easy, although I did detect that the brushes weren't rotating as fast. They seemed to be labouring slightly on this plush pile carpet. On a shorter pile carpet, I'm sure that the brushes will rotate at a faster speed. In fact, I'll quickly try it on my hall carpet, which is a much shorter pile than the one in my living room. Yes, on this short pile carpet the turbo brush seemed to revolve faster, and it was easier to push the straight suction nozzle on the short pile carpet too. Okay, without any further ado, let's put some dirt down and see how well this Beko performs. Well, again, that was very hard to push forward and back over this plush pile, but with a bit of brute force I managed it. And as I predicted, the surface dirt on the hole has been picked up, but I'm not sure if you can see on camera. I think you should be able to see some of this neon sand. There's definitely some here, some here. In fact, looking closer up here just off camera, just here, there's a big bit. It's not done fabulous at removing the sand, and if the sand was left in the carpet, as you walk on the carpet the sand gets embedded in the pile, and because it's sharp it can start cutting into the fibres and destroying the carpet in time. That's why often you need a vacuum cleaner that's got some sort of agitation, such as a rotating brush or brush and beater bars, so it can actually pound the carpet and release the dirt. So with a straight suction cleaner you often find that deep down dirt can be left in the pile. Just going to try going over this middle part once or twice again, if I can push it, just to see if I can remove any more of the sand. And again, that is a workout. It's removed some more of the sand, but yeah, there's still some showing. So yeah, it's okay for surface dirt, but for the sand, which represents grit, I think I'd need to agitate a bit more. Obviously on a shorter pile carpet that doesn't have such a dense pile as this one, it will remove more dirt. So everything varies, carpets vary, vacuum cleaners vary. So what I show you on my channel is only the results I get in my home with my carpets and hard floors. I'll be showing you this machine on a hard floor shortly. Okay, I'm just going to pick up a bit more of the dirt using the straight suction head, and then I'll move on to the turbo head and see if that does any better. Well, I have to say, after going over this area of carpet multiple times, it seems to have removed most of that neon sand. I can still see a few bits of glitter, but it was a bit of a tough test, and this is a notoriously hard carpet to clean. I suspect though, if I was to go over this with a decent upright cleaner with better agitation than this Beko has, it would probably bring out some more dirt. But you know, on the surface, unless you're really close to it, it has managed to pick everything up. Okay, before I venture into the kitchen to see how well this Beko cleans a hard floor, I'll just pop some pet hair down on this carpet and see how well the turbo brush picks it up. Okie dokie, well, I'm in my kitchen now, and as you can see I've put down quite a lot of dirt, including fine particles like flour and larger particles such as rice and rolled oats. Now, I haven't emptied the cleaner. There's absolutely tons of space left in there. I'm nowhere near the max fill line, so I'm going to use the machine with all the dirt in it that I've picked up previously. Let's pop that back. And I'm going to start by using the standard carpet and floor head forward and back through this dirt, and then I'm going to swap the nozzles over and use the dedicated hard floor tool that also comes with this Beko and see which one performs better, or indeed if there's any difference between the two. So let's move the machine. I'll do down this side using the standard nozzle. In fact, I'll pull the nozzle back first. I'll pull it back through the dirt, just one pass. Okay, here goes. Well, as you can see, there is a bit of snow ploughing from the dedicated hard floor nozzle, but not as much as I got from the standard nozzle. Although, to be fair and to be totally honest, because I'm in a confined space, as I was moving the nozzle back, I did have to tilt it in order for me to finish the path, so I have tilted it up at the back. So I'm going to do another area, and I'm going to make sure I keep this nozzle completely flat during the course of the clean. You probably noticed that I tilted the nozzle slightly towards the end of the cleaning path, so it has picked up more than it would have done. I couldn't keep the nozzle straight, but if I had, I think it would have been a very similar result, to be honest. We've got a similar amount of snow ploughing here. It is slightly more, I suppose, on this nozzle, but I think if I'd kept the nozzle completely flat, it would be much the same. But on the whole, I prefer the dedicated hard floor nozzle. It's easier to push, it doesn't stick to the floor. So this is the nozzle I'll use to clean the rest of the mess up. Well, that's about the end of my demonstration on this Beko Bagless vacuum cleaner. I think for around £80 to £90 it's pretty good value. I wouldn't recommend it if you've got plush pile carpeting like I have, but if you've got short pile carpeting and hard floors and you're on a budget, I think this is one you should consider. Now, one thing that's different about this cleaner to most of the other cleaners I demonstrate, bagless cleaners I demonstrate, I haven't had to empty it once during the course of the demos. Normally, after I've done a hard floor or a carpet demo, I have to empty the container of other cleaners, but this has a huge capacity. So everything I've picked up in this video, plus a few other bits and pieces, they have remained in the bin during the course of the demo. And as you can see, we're nowhere near the max fill line. While I've got the bin off, I thought I'd have a look at the pre-motor filter to see how dirty it is. Now, if the cyclone in this is poor, then the filter will be dirty, but if it's a decent cyclone, hopefully the filter will have remained fairly clean. Right, well, that's not bad at all. For some reason, a little bit of fluff has managed to pass through, but all in all, that is still pretty clean. I know I haven't cleaned very much with it, but I have cleaned up quite a lot of dirt in one go, and a lot of cleaners, they just attract all the dirt to the filter, but the cyclone in this seems to have been fairly effective at separating the dirt from the airflow. And if we remove this, in fact, what I'll do actually, I won't remove that. I'm going to empty out the dirt just to see how clean of an empty we get, but looking at it, I can't see anything that's wrapped around that central shroud. We've got some dirt that's managed to get up here where the seal is. So after a certain amount of use, it will be better to separate this and clean it properly. But I think all the rest of the dirt has managed, including the dog hair, has managed to find its way to the bottom of the bin. Okay then, don't do this at home. Obviously, normally you'd be standing over a bin before you squeeze these two buttons. Let's have a look. Yeah, right, a fairly clean empty, but of course, look, because this is a cup-shaped base, you're going to have to tilt that, give the container a bit of a shake as well. And we can see that's mainly the flour that I picked up from the kitchen floor that's remained on the bottom end of this cyclone. But as I showed you earlier, I mean, it's fine now. I can just close this and just use it again, and I'm sure it'll be okay. But you know, from time to time, depending how fussy you are, of course, you can remove the filter. And I say the filter is washable, and you can remove this. And I don't think you can wash this, but I think it does come apart a bit more. Should have checked the instructions, but it's certainly easy enough to wipe that with a damp cloth. But this does twist, which I'm wondering why this part twists, because normally you'd think if something moves, it means you can remove it. Okay, well, I've just checked the instruction book, and this doesn't separate any further than this. Well, it doesn't say it does anyway, even though you can actually turn this part. It doesn't seem to move. Beko says you're not to immerse this in water. You can clean it with a damp cloth or a soft brush, but there's no mention of actually submerging it. So I wouldn't personally. If you do get this wet, make sure you've left it to dry before putting it back in the machine. Otherwise, of course, it's going to suck water into the motor, which won't do the motor any good at all. And I can confirm that all the filters I've shown you are washable, including the final Hepa filter. So what we can do now is just reassemble it. And you could rinse that out from time to time if you want to keep your machine clean. But it's a vacuum cleaner, it's going to get dirty, it depends how fussy you are. Just need to line this up so it drops into place. There is a certain way of doing it. If I can find the correct way. I think that's it. Yes, it's dropped into place. Then obviously put the filter back. And it goes that way up. There is a little piece of ribbon that enables you to remove it. Make sure that's firmly seated, and then you can close the lid and then put the container back onto the machine. Well, that's the end of today's video. If you've liked it, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And if there's anything I haven't covered in this video that you want to know, please ask below and I'll do my best to answer your questions. So until the next time, thanks for watching and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.